And a very warm welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on SABC3. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So if you've been keeping up with the latest news, you will know that there's been a recent strike in the fuel sector where around 15,000 workers in total, all linked to fuel production and service delivery, went on strike last week Thursday, resulting in numerous petrol stations running dry within 3 or 4 days. Now, many of the affected petrol stations hope that they'd be able to refuel during the night when it was a bit safer for stand-in drivers to be in operation. And in light of these events and the drop in the fuel price today, we've got Mr. Leighton Beard from the AA on the line to tell us how you can reliably save on fuel. Leighton, thank you very much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
So let's talk about what South Africans can do, Leighton, to save on petrol, given this crisis that we're facing right now.
Well, look, obviously there's a lot of different ways that people can save, and one of them would be, for instance, to just make sure that you know where you're driving to and have your routes planned out so that, you've got a very good idea of what your consumption is going to be. Things like speeding are going to use more fuel. If you're stuck in stop-start traffic, in other words, if you're stuck in peak hour traffic, that's going to use a lot more fuel. If you're going to be towing something like a trailer or a caravan or a boat, that's obviously going to use a lot of fuel. So if you think about these things that you do on a daily basis, making unscheduled trips in your vehicle, for instance, if you can avoid doing things like that, you will save fuel in the long run.
And of course, I mean, given that people are going to work in the morning, there's a lot of traffic in the major cities around the country, a lot of standing in traffic and idling, which can be a huge factor for petrol consumption.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. And, we always say to people, if it is possible and you can negotiate it with your employer, maybe arrive at work a little earlier so that you can leave earlier, or arrive at work a little later and then leave later.
Right.
Just in an effort so that you can, avoid that very heavy peak hour traffic. It's not possible for a lot of people. I know that a lot of people in the mornings have to drop children off at school, for instance, and then they go to work from there. But being stuck in stop-start traffic is going to make you use petrol a lot more. So if you can avoid it, then that's great. Because every time you accelerate your vehicle in that situation, you're going to be using a lot more fuel. So it is something that we say, if you possibly can avoid it, avoid it.
Yeah. And what about the option, because I heard somebody saying that, if you switch off your engine and switch it back on, especially if you are stuck in traffic idling, could that help you save fuel?
Not really, because, when you put your car on again, you're basically going to need a lot of fuel to get through to that engine again. So it's not really going to make a big difference.
Okay.
And it's, if you're in stop-start traffic and you're going to be switching your car off and on and off and on, I know there are some cars that come with that feature nowadays, but that's built into the motor.
Right.
If you're going to be switching, you're physically switching your car off and switching it on again, that's not really going to make a big difference.
And of course, in the northern part of the country, it's very much colder than where we are here. So what about using the heater in your car? Would that add to your fuel consumption?
It definitely will do. When the air conditioner is used, the compressor that powers that needs power, and it draws that power from your engine, and the engine is thus increasing its work rate, and that work rate then will obviously need more fuel, and so obviously you're going to be using a lot more petrol. If you're going to be using your aircon, be aware of the fact whether to make it warmer or cooler in your car, you are going to be using more fuel in the long run. Similarly, if you open your windows, you're going to be having a lot more drag on your vehicle.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you've got to weigh this up. If you're in stop-start traffic, it's better maybe to roll the window down where you're not going at a fast speed, than use the air conditioner. So that's something you've got to do. Plan your routes. Plan where you're going to go. Make sure you know where you want to be, and don't make any unscheduled trips if you can avoid it. These are some of the things that you can do to save petrol.
Well, Leighton, thank you so much for joining us and sharing those tips. That is Leighton Beard from the Automotive Association. Hey, and maybe even carpooling with some of your colleagues to get to work might help you save on that big petrol bill.